Are you currently dating anyone, and can you tell us who it is?
I am currently dating somebody, but unfortunately that's the only thing I can't quite talk about right now. Because I got something coming up real soon here.
Okay, but you're off the market right now.
Off the market, unfortunately, or fortunately.
Okay, so Kaitlyn Bristowe and Shawn Booth have broken up. What are your thoughts on the breakup, and would you ever want to date Kaitlyn?
Would I ever want to date Caitlyn? Oh, man, well, we'll get into that in a sec, but, I'm not surprised. I had heard some stuff. I remember I did a club appearance right after the Bachelorette, and it was a club appearance, like, in Canada, and they were talking about how Shawn and Caitlyn had done one, and I guess they had said that he kind of followed her around like a puppy dog, and, I guess he was just kind of 100% whipped by her. I feel like, I don't know, Caitlyn seems like she kind of needs more of that type of guy to be in control.
And then would you ever date Caitlyn?
Of all people in Bachelor Nation, probably she is the one that I would date. I'd say that. Because she does seem super, real. You know what I mean? Love her or hate her, she is who she is, and that's what I love about her.
Do you think maybe Shawn was just too, codependent?
In a way, when you watch Caitlyn's Instagram stories and you watch her, basically, she's super real, and, she'll post stuff that she probably shouldn't, you know what I mean? She'll post her having drinks and talking about stuff and being sad, and I like that. I like people that are really real, but if you look at Shawn's stories, a lot of Shawn's, everything he posts is very, oh, here I am with a charity, here I am with kids, here I am working out. It's very, it's typical Bachelor Nation kind of fake stuff. She's very real, and he's very too into the PR and press and good publicity world.
Now, who do you think is the biggest Bachelor villain of all time?
Let me think. Who's somebody that sucks? I know Crystal sucks. I know she's really liked now because I coached her before she went on Paradise. I spent probably 5 hours in person and on the phone telling her how to not come across like an asshole,
Yeah. Did the Bachelor producers ever try to push contestants to do things that they didn't want to do?
For sure, but they don't ever want you to say that. It's basically just the Bachelor production could be hey, maybe you should go tell this person to fuck off. You know what? I think I should tell them to fuck off. You know what I mean?
So they incite a lot of the fights that happen. There's people kind of riling you up in production, behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, a lot of times it's they know the fight is going to happen, so it's well, let's just go ahead and do it on our time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know you have a problem with this person, they know it, and they're just well, the cameras are here, you might as well go ahead and confront them now. And you're all right. I think the main thing that kind of gets you spun is the questions you're asked. You know what I mean? Man, that guy's annoying, isn't he? And I'm yeah, that guy sucks.
Who is your least favorite Bachelor contestant?
I still don't like Chase or Robbie, those dudes. They're just, because I've tried to be really friendly with them off camera, and it's they're still mad at me, and I'm what are you mad at me? You tried to get me kicked off, and yet you guys hate me because when you tried to get me kicked off, you made the TV show about me. So, shouldn't I be mad at you? Yet I'm being the bigger person apologizing and, trying to move on. And they're still, just talking shit, you know what I mean, in person. I'll tell you one of the people that annoys me is that dude, Dean. Dean and Nick Vial. Those dudes are so arrogant. And, when I first met Dean, I met him after one of the Men's Hell All. And I was trying to talk to him. I was hey, bud, how you doing? I'm Chad. I was just trying to be friendly and meet everybody. He was who? Who are you? And I was dude, I'm Chad. I was on the season before you. And he was I honestly thought that he was just so drunk that, his brain didn't operate anymore. I was dude, I'm just trying to be friendly to you right now. You know who I am. I know you. But apparently it turned out he told everyone that since I was an asshole, he thought I was an ass. So he was just intentionally being an asshole back to me. And it's how are you going to judge me? You haven't even met me, man.
Which contestant would be the worst to date?
It depends on the way you look at it. Now, for me, Ben annoys me. I've met him plenty of times. I've done podcasts with him. I've done all this stuff. And he's just not him. He's a walking, talking political figure that I don't think anybody who's met him in the last 5 years actually knows real Ben. Nick Vial, extremely arrogant, but he's the type of guy that won't look up from his phone and just be extremely arrogant to you for no reason.
If you had to choose one, which Bachelor contestant would you most want to date?
I'm going to go with Kaitlyn Bristowe and Lauren Bushnell. Molly Bushnell. I like Lauren's sister, too. She's pretty hot. I don't know if you've seen her.
Now, did you want Colton Underwood to be the next Bachelor, and do you think that he is really a virgin?
I mean, at first I was like, it's bullshit. Like, he just came up with that, playing this, like, full card. Like, he's got a charity named after himself, and he's a virgin. It's like, okay, but... But, man, I met him in person, and the dude's just... He's not the dude that walks into the bar and goes home with the girl. I'll say that. But anybody like if it had been like Jason, that dude seems like just a greasy used car salesman to me. He would say anything to come off likable.
Yeah, Colton was really winning a lot of people over.
Yeah, he seems like a good choice, and he's like a Ben, but he's like a real Ben. You know what I mean? He's like who Ben actually wishes that he was deep down. Ben, I think deep down is a greasy. I think he's a greasy motherfucker.
Now, what are your thoughts on host Chris Harrison? Does he get too involved in the couple's relationship or not enough?
We never really saw him. He would show up and be like, hey, I care for her, and I want the best for her. And I'd be like, you haven't even talked to her. What are you talking about, dude?
Now, would you ever agree to be the Bachelor if you were asked to be?
Yeah, probably. I don't see why I wouldn't if I was single, you know what I mean? Like, I think the one thing that it needs to be shown is that, you know what? Like, some people suck. Like, you know, a girl might walk up to me the first day, and I might be like, I can just tell you're going to suck. Get back in the limo. Like, get out of here. Back to the limo for you, woman.
Which Bachelor contestant changes the most when the cameras start rolling?
I hear Nick did that a lot. I hear Nick he'd be talking to a girl, and they'd be having, like, drinks and dinner and everything. And it'd be going well, but then the minute the cameras shut off, he would just turn himself off like he was shooting a scene, you know? Like
wow.
He'd shoot the scene with the girl, and they'd be like liking him and everything would be good. And then the minute they'd be like, all right, that's you know, we're good on the dinner, he'd be like, all right, and just like get up and walk off and not even say anything. Just being a blatant like dick where you're faking it is not cool.
Have you ever had a negative experience with a celebrity?
I did meet this girl named Jana. I forget, I met her at we were at Dancing with the Stars, and they put me in the front row right next to her. And we started talking and everything, and I got her number at the thing, and, you know, I think she's a country singer in Nashville or some shit like that. And all of a sudden, I think she must have Googled me and seen that I was bad, and I just got, one day I just got on Instagram, and I was blocked, and I was like, what the fuck? Hey, this is Chad Johnson. You are listening to The Dominic Natty Show.